It's been a great relationship with Australia, some of which we have experienced back home in India through Indian films. And I tell you, some of the best films which we have enjoyed in India have been shot in Australia. And whether it is a movie called Dil Chahta Hai, which is the heart wants more, which is a love story and pictured around the Sydney Harbour, a lot of it at the opera, a very, very beautiful story. Or another movie called Salam Namaste, in a way signifying also the diversity in India which we respect, just like Australia does. Salam is a greeting that the Muslims usually use. Namaste is a greeting that the Hindus use. And the movie Salam Namaste was one of the finest movies, reflecting also in some sense another love story, of course, but that's what we are all about in India. But set in very, very beautiful surroundings. This one was, I think, more in Melbourne. Now I wonder when we are going to have a film shot in Perth. And today, after seeing your beautiful city, I'm convinced that one of our filmmakers is going to get here very soon and share Perth with the rest of the world. And I promise you, as Tourism Minister, Roger, Dan, for both of you, every time a film is shot in one of these picturesque locations, the tourism towards that location takes a huge leg up, a big boost. So, Roger, you have your job cut out. Maybe you could look at that in your July visit as well. And the treasure that I've just got a little bit of a glimpse of passing by the beach, the harbor, saw a cathedral around, the vineyards that I could see from the plane. I've not yet seen, but I'm told there are some very nice nature parks and aquariums. I suspect this should be a perfect setting for one more love story. But the city of lights, as they say, and well, a city which is actually very close to India. The distance between Perth and Chennai is possibly less than the distance between Sydney and Seoul, for that matter, or Sydney and Shanghai. No pun intended, no hints being given. Only a suggestion that you have a great opportunity for both countries here, India and Australia, to engage in a much deeper fashion. And I think given the fact that the distances from Western Australia are closer to India, I mean, I almost feel like I'm halfway back home here. I think it's going to be a very, very important role that Western Australia will be playing in the years to come when we build this relationship to the next level and continue to take it further up in the years to come. Of course, when the officials sat down and did the number crunching and looked at what kind of a objective this Ekta agreement should have, they were looking at modest targets like pushing up the 26 billion bilateral trade to about 45 billion in the next 5 or 6 years. Of course, I didn't like the 45 number because it was too small, so I thought maybe let's make it at least 50 billion. But then once I stepped into Australia, once I engaged with people in Melbourne, as I moved to Sydney and met with the business community there and realized what the offerings are from Australia to India, I got the sense of what we could do from India. I'm leading a 58-member delegation, Excellency, which is the largest ever delegation that has come to Australia. As I talk to them post our business meetings to figure out how they felt the opportunities in Australia would be like, we decided in Sydney to up the ante and look for $100 billion bilateral trade between Australia and India by 2030. While I would like to dedicate this unity agreement to the $100 billion outcome, I do hope by the time I leave Perth, after meeting with all of the distinguished ladies and gentlemen here, we could even look at revising it upwards. But on a more serious note, I think it's a good target to have. We are looking at quadrupling bilateral trade. We are looking at two economies that hardly compete with each other. We actually complement each other beautifully. The sheep wool that Dan was just talking about, when woven into fabric or apparel in India, would actually make a wonderful offering to the rest of the world. You have a issue with people or less people in your country. We have talent and skills in abundance in our country. You are the provider of raw materials and intermediate products to large parts of the world. We are looking at using those materials, using our pool of labor, the talent that we have, the skills that we have in our country, to convert them to finished products and serve the world. In every which way, this partnership is about complementarity. In this partnership, we are looking at many dimensions: education, research, innovation, engaging with new age technologies, a little glimpse of which we just saw. India is making rapid strides in the space sector. We believe we can work together and expand our engagement on that. India is looking at inviting companies to come in India, manufacture in India. You can own your company 100%. There are no restrictions. You can keep your technology and your trade secrets with you. We don't even ask you to transfer technology in India, like some countries do. And you get a huge market with huge defense budgets, particularly considering the situation and the neighborhood in which we are located. And therefore, every one of those areas that Roger put out there on his video actually excited me into looking at newer and newer areas of engagement. I hope Western Australia will be at the forefront of that engagement. I hope we can get our startups, our young entrepreneurs, engaging with each other. Because look at the very logical situation here. You've been looking at some fantastic, innovative stuff, research and new ideas. But where is the population to use those ideas? Where are the people whom you can really either engage with or take those ideas to? The market is probably about 224 or 25 million. And we have 1.35 billion Indians aspiring for a better quality of life, aspiring for the goodies which they see on internet today, which they see on television every day. They also wish to be a part of this prosperity that large parts of the world have experienced. And that's where opportunity knocks at your door. That's where each one of you will get a large market. People will be buying their first car, and not a few 100,000, not a few million, but we would have about 100 million plus who would be buying their first car in the next 8 to 10 years. We'll have millions and possibly going into tens of millions who will be building their first home in the next 8 to 10 years. We'll have hundreds of millions who would now wish to have a dishwasher, something which we always did ourselves manually. The dishwasher concept, I still remember about 30 years ago when my brother came back from the US, 35 years ago probably, and brought those massive dishwashers and washing machines and dryers. It was quite an intriguing thing for the family, because typically we would have somebody come in and do the dishes or somebody come in and do the clothes. Today, large parts of Indians are using dishwashers, are using washing machines, are using dryers, are using microwave ovens. Yet, there's a very large part which over the next 8 to 10 years is going to see increasing incomes, increasing levels of prosperity, increasing demand for all these products. And as that demand grows, so will the demand for products, goods, services that many of you here would be providing. Of course, this relationship comes naturally to the Australians and the Indians because in a way we are very natural partners. I'm told in history going back, our geography was one. We are probably two continents connected to each other. In a sense, we have been members of the Commonwealth. We are both vibrant democracies. We both believe in the rule of law. We are both transparent governments, open governments. And in every which way, whether it's our love for cricket, whether it's the desire to see peace and stability around the world, whether it's our concerns of our geopolitical interests in this region, in the Indo-Pacific, in every which way, we will be working together for years and years to come, and a greater engagement, a deeper engagement between our businesses, between our people of the two wonderful countries, will only add to help make our geopolitical presence stronger and help us maintain the Indo-Pacific as an area of peace, stability, tranquility, progress, and growth. Despite challenging times that we've all faced, I think the relations between these two countries are only getting better and better. I must at this stage acknowledge each one of you for the loving care and support that you gave to every person of Indian origin. And we have about 700,000 persons of Indian origin who have made Australia their home, who are a part of all of you, who are your family now. The way they were taken care of, the way every one of them was comfortable in this land which they call their own today, truly defines this brotherhood between Australia and India. And I'm truly grateful to all of you for taking care of them. We did not get a single call, as we got from many other parts of the world, of Indians wanting to get back home. The Australian Indians were happy, well taken care of by all of you. Thank you very much for that. We launched the Comprehensive Strategic Partnership in June 2020. That set the tone, set the pace of our engagement in several ways. We became partners with America, Japan, in the Quad. We are working with Japan, both our nations, in the SCRI initiative, the Supply Chain Resilience Initiative. And to top it up, we now have the Indus Ekta Agreement, which I believe is something that will take this relationship to the next level. I personally believe this could have happened a long time ago. But sometimes the stars need to be aligned. And I think it's a matter of good fortune that this time around there was a serious intent on the part of both countries. You know, in Hindi there's a saying, "Tali do haath se bajti hai." Translated, you clap when both hands clap together. You can't clap with one hand. So it was always meant to be that both nations come back together. But the final clap before the film starts shooting was not happening. And I think it's most appropriate that when we see so much disturbance around the world, two strong democracies, two friends, are sending a message out to the world that we mean business, our friendship will also translate into our greater business relations. We trust each other. We are both nations who believe in each other. We are both nations who believe that working together, we will do good for the people of both nations, Australia and India. Our ties certainly will get strengthened with this unity agreement, and the spirit of cooperation, the spirit of friendship in which this whole negotiation took place was truly remarkable. I've been handling different areas. I've come to Australia as a power minister, as a coal minister. I've come to visit the university and see the research in New South Wales on photovoltaic cells as the clean energy or renewable energy minister. I've worked with Australia on the railways side. We send you railway coaches for your metros from India when I was handling railways. But truly, I've never had a more enjoyable time in any of my visits to Australia than this visit, albeit I'm lack of adequate sleep because Dan is a slave driver. I hope none of the others here are, because one is enough to handle for one trip. But truly, it was outstanding. The kind of engagements that I had in this 3-day trip, the vast number of important people, people who matter to the world of business, the beneficiaries of this agreement that I was able to interact with, in a way, justifies what Prime Minister Narendra Modi said at the signing ceremony. And I quote, "This Ekta is a watershed moment for our bilateral relations, and our economies have great potential to meet each other's needs," clearly reflecting the complementarity of our two economies, of our two businesses. It's an important milestone which will contribute to development of, I think, many multi-sectoral relationships. We are looking at a great deal of work together. This is but one step in a long journey. And I just wish and hope that this journey will not be a walk, not just a trot, but a marathon, or possibly even taking us to greater speed, the speed of lightning maybe, or the speed at which your rockets go to space. Friends, Australia is also vital for India when we look at taking progress and prosperity to our people. Many of the products that we get from Australia help light up homes. Many of the products that we get from Australia help us give jobs to our people. The good quality of education that our students get in Australia help them become better citizens of the world. And in this agreement, we are looking at several ways to expand our relationship, particularly in the fields of skill development, education, in several areas of services, which holds great potential for both nations and our businesses. We are looking at expanding our engagement on the information technology side. We would love to work with you on the Internet of Things or fourth generation manufacturing, probably even developing 5G telecom systems together. We'd love to work with you in areas related to sustainability. And therefore, I believe that this is the right time to work together. We would love to see investments flowing into India from Australia, and I assure you, you'll get far better returns than the money you get or the return you get in your own country today. So it's probably time to get down to action now. No more speeches, no more talkings. It's all about what we can do together, respecting each other's sensitivities, respecting each other's position in terms of levels of prosperity, levels of growth, the market size, the opportunities that are available for both countries and our business persons. I believe this is a very good outcome that we have been able to bring about. It's a very balanced, fair, and equitable agreement. It provides opportunities for all of you in different areas, for startups, for companies in sustainability, for the security of the region, or for resilient supply chains. The scope of our collaboration is immense. I invite all of you, the business community and persons in the field of education, audiovisual, all the various areas where we need to and we look forward to working together. We invite all the businesses from Western Australia to use this opportunity, grow with us, develop both countries, and I am sure together we can move mountains, we can do wonders. Thank you very much for hosting me today, for this wonderful afternoon, and for the lovely set of people you have invited today. Thank you very much, Excellency.